Hey everybody, Substatica here. In this video, we're going to be trying to get the game Ground Branch running in VR using praydog's recently released UEVR mod, which is a free mod that allows you to get Unreal Engine 4 and 5 games running in VR. Before we get started, take a minute to click the S in the corner to subscribe. Heading for 50,000 subscribers, I'd love to have you on the team. Also like, share, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the video, of this game with the UEVR mod, or any games you'd like to see with the UEVR mod. Let's get into it here. This is the UEVR mod installed into a directory of C/games. I've got another file explorer opened here to the Ground Branch local files. So the first thing you want to do when you're trying to get the UEVR mod up and running with the game is remove VR plugins that might be in the engine, binaries, third-party directory. And I'm not seeing any here, so we should be good on that front. We'll keep this window open just in case. And let's go ahead and open the game and use the injector. This is what the UEVR mod looks like when you first launch it before it's injected into a game. I'm going to restart as administrator by clicking that button. And then we are going to spin up Ground Branch and see if we can inject the mod into it and get a VR mode up and running. Give the game a second here to start. I'm using a Quest 2 and Virtual Desktop at the moment. And when you're using Virtual Desktop, you want OpenXR selected here. Now, it seems like it's taking a while for this game to spin up. There we go. Okay, so let's allow it access to the network. Talking about default controls. Okay, so we've got the game open here. Let's switch back to the injector and see if we can inject. So we're going to select the process, Ground Branch, and click Inject. See if we can get a VR mode up and running. So you can't see this, but it actually did open in my headset. You'll be looking at the desktop. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm using Virtual Desktop, I'm going to click this Virtual Desktop Fix. And that's going to prevent some stuttering. Okay. So let's dismiss the in-game UI for now. And I'm going to switch back to the desktop. And we're going to select Training. To get us actually into the game proper. Alright, so here we are in the game. I'm going to switch back to VR mode so I can interact with the menu. Depressing both thumbsticks to bring up the UEVR menu. Okay. So now, when I turn my head, the game is not moving, so let's see if we can address that first. So let's turn on Roomscale Movement. I'm getting a little bit of movement when I turn my head here. Aim method, head HMD. Now I'm going to dismiss the menu. Still not getting any movement with my head, but I am able to use the analog stick on my touch controller to move. Let's open up the menu again, and let's see if we can get rid of some of these meshes that we don't need, mainly the player arms, and we'll see if we can attach the gun to our controller. So that's done by clicking Show Advanced Options, go into UObject Hook Main, Common Objects, and we want to go into Acknowledged Pawn. That is basically the player mesh or the player component. Okay, so it seems like we're already somewhat attached, so I'm not too worried about attaching the headset to the player, but we want to find the mesh of the player arms and hide that. We can look in components to start. We've got the skeletal mesh component, character mesh 0. That seems like a good possibility. Okay, that didn't do a lot. I think maybe that's removing the player's head. Curious. So let's collapse that. Let's expand it again and see if it has any children. Okay. If we can't find the mesh to hide in here as a child, we'll keep looking outside of this character mesh component. Okay, we've got children here. Hey, look, beard, tablet, suppressor, helmet. Okay. A head. There's a lot of blueprints in here. Pants, gloves, tactical. Let's see about these gloves. Okay. Clothing mesh. Wow, there's a lot here. I'm going to back out of here for a second and see if we can find a higher level object to hide the player rather than getting this granular. Let's keep looking. So let's collapse components for now and look through just the acknowledged pawn class. Body instance bones. Oh, it looks like we expanded the children of the pawn itself. Okay, death animations. Okay, we have equipment right info, which may be useful for the weapon. Mesh, that's interesting. Okay, we already have that as invisible, so that's just a different pointer to the same mesh that we found before. Root component is interesting. Okay, again, that's already invisible. Looks like we're going to have to go into that big list of children. Okay. All right. Sights, helmet. I haven't seen anything that says arms yet. We've got the head. Has no children, so there should be a mesh here. I don't know why it's clothing for a head. Okay. Again, that looks like it might be changing something because the lighting's changing, but Doesn't look like it's what we're looking for. Breaching charge. Okay. Shirt under, long sleeve, tucked. Let's check this out. Okay. Hey, we got rid of the shirt. So let's save the visibility state of that. So that was under clothing mesh component of the shirt. Although I can't seem to scroll in here anymore. There we go. Yeah, the analog stick doesn't want to scroll just now. We tried gloves, but it didn't really work. I was going to dismiss the menu, but I don't want to lose my spot. So let's scroll down here. Hey, there we go, the gloves. So we'll save that. So we've got rid of the gloves. Hey, arms master. That seems promising. We want the clothing mesh component, and there go the arms. Okay. So let's save that. Wristwatch. So the wristwatch, let's attach that to our left controller if we can. And we don't want to use these attached camera to because that's our headset. So we want to go down and find the mesh. Does it have children? It does not. But it's not clothing. Instance component? No. So this one's a bit different. Really want my thumbstick back, but... Okay, map. Spawn collision. So these are all of the components and properties that the game uses to, well, make everything work, to be honest. Some of it is specific to the game. Other properties are just default Unreal properties. Well, look at this. We've got equipped left, equipped right. So that's interesting. Tags. Tags are just strings. So that may be a way for the game to point to what weapon or item is equipped in each hand by using these tag strings. I think maybe we got lost here. Are we still in the watch? We are still in the watch. Let's expand components. And we've got a static mesh component. Okay, so that is the watch. And now we want to go attach left. And now we've got the watch on our left touch controller. But it's in kind of an odd spot. That's the controller up. So let's just click adjust. That's a bit odd. I mean, that's somewhat better. It's facing us now when I hold the controller up. So let's go with that for now. Save visibility state. Let's make this a permanent change. And so now we have the wristwatch on our wrist. So let's see if we can find the weapon. Now, we kind of want something like current weapon because we don't want to have to attach all of these different things to our other controller. We want to be able to attach one that works for all weapons. So let's see. Thankfully, we have our thumbstick working again to scroll. Okay. Let's go into components. Input component is not really what we want. Okay, let's close that down. We'll go back to the children, I suppose. Okay. I mean, is this an MK25? Wow. No, so that's not this weapon. I don't like that seemingly all of the weapons are already there as children. Okay, that's the player controller, so that's another class related to controlling the player, but it doesn't really have to do with the player's visual representation in the game. So let's check out Equipped Right. We already looked at this before, but just in case. So this is the AR-15, I would think. So let's try out the skeletal mesh component. Okay, so that hid the weapon, but that's not enough. We don't want to hide just the weapon, although there's a chance that if we attach that, it'll attach all these other things. So let's give it a go. We want to attach right. Hey, look at that. So now we've got the weapon on our right controller. And we want to select permanent change and adjust. That didn't really adjust it very much. So let's turn it like that. I see. Okay. Kind of went the wrong way there. So let's go like that. Okay. Do that one more time. And it should turn it to where it's facing forward. So I'm basically turning my wrist now, and that's going to change the orientation of the weapon. There we go. So that's not bad. I can actually aim down sights there. So let's save visibility state, save state, and dismiss the menu. That works pretty good, actually. So I want to be able to... Actually, this isn't bad. I could smooth turn with the analog stick. I don't see my reticle anymore. It's kind of a very faint red. But we've got our watch. You can see how we're a bit tilted. We can change that. By pulling up the menu, and I think it's in camera. We want to decouple the pitch, and that should keep our head straight while we walk around rather than all tilty, which is pretty bad for motion sickness. All right. So, took us a couple minutes. Hey, even sprint works. But we've got this functional now. Can't quite see where those are landing. I do want my HMD, my head, to dictate the movement direction, which it's not currently. So let's see if we can enable that. Input. Okay. Let's try use pawn control rotation. That's not doing it. That looks like it's doing it. All right, so now our movement is dictated by our headset direction. So that was modify player control rotation. Really need this reticle more visible. I don't know where that's hitting. Probably too high. Oh, now we're out. Okay, how do we reload? I can't grab the mag. I do have a game controller within reach. Oh, that was reload. So that was one of the buttons on the left controller. So now we've got this working pretty good. The watch angle is still a little odd, but we don't really need this hand anyways. I'm not going to try switching weapons or attachments just now. What we'll do is I'm going to switch out of VR, and I'm going to go back to the UEVR desktop interface here, and we're going to click Export Config. And that just took all our settings, zipped them up so we can share them with other players. All right. It's just the reticle that's really hard to see. But alignment seems good. Controls are good. I can sprint. I can crouch. I can reload. I can aim down sights. Can I turn on my laser somehow? Okay, that's fire mode, semi and auto. I'm just trying the different controls. They're not really doing anything. Now the reticle looks better. Let's see if I can get a menu back up. Can be tricky sometimes. Is there like a place I can go to trigger the menu? But there you go. That is start to playable, at least. Not finished. More tweaking to be done. The gun position might not stay when we switch levels or start missions and things like that. But I hope this demystifies how you set up games with UEVR, at least to some degree. If you haven't already, take a minute to click the S in the corner to subscribe. Heading for 50,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you on the team. Also, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the video of this game with UEVR, Ground Branch, or any games you've played with UEVR or would like to see in UEVR. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.